What's going on, guys? Bit of a different setup today, but I hadn't made a video in quite a while and I just wanted to get one out there, so I figured I'd make this real quick over a question that I got on my air assault video, I think it was, and that's what is the difference between a Cav Scout and an Infantry Scout? I'm only going to be able to talk about this from the perspective of what an Infantry Scout is and based on the little experience I have working with Cav Scout elements, okay? I can't go into detail at all about what Cav Scouts are or what they do, and I'm really just going to talk about mainly what an Infantry Scout is and what I've seen Cav Scouts do. So, Infantry Scouts, since LURS elements are completely non-existent anymore, really the only time you're going to see an Infantry Scout is at the battalion, scout platoon element level. And this is going to be in the headquarters company of whatever battalion you happen to be in. My old scout platoon that I started my career out in the scout world is no longer around. They got rid of them for whatever reason, and typically it's because commanders don't know how to use them, so they just go unused a lot. But what we did was reconnaissance for the battalion, so it's more of a shorter range reconnaissance, because I think there's actually an infantry recon platoon FM, I believe, and then there's also a long-range reconnaissance platoon, or company, rather, FM, that talks about the differences between the two of them. I believe the scout platoon, internal to a battalion's HHC, is typically used for no more than 3 to 5 day missions, and typically no farther than like 3 to 5 miles away from wherever the TOC is at, or Tactical Operations Center. They're just basically, if this is kind of where your element is occupying as an entire battalion, we're basically conducting different types of reconnaissance, route, zone, and area recon, to help paint the picture of the battlefield for the battalion commander so that he can more effectively move his other companies around the battlefield and be as effective as possible. And that's basically what we did. And we had a few different positions. We had the TL, the team leader, the assistant team leader. We had senior scout observer, which is typically your point man, your navigation guy. We had other junior scout observers, which basically are just like pack mules, and they were learning the nav and the point guy job. And then we had our RTOs, or radio telephone operators, and assistant RTOs, and that's basically your entire team. There's typically 6 people, but depending on how many scout observers or SOs that you have, it could be larger than that. We would go, our mission is to not be compromised. If we're doing our jobs right, we should never be in a gunfight, and utilizing different fieldcraft techniques of cover, concealment, stealth. A lot of this is your methods of movement, what kind of formations you have in movement to better conceal your location or any markings of your movement throughout an area. You go through a lot of specific training like that. It's all reconnaissance on foot for a smaller element like a battalion. And that's pretty much it. We're just doing recon around wherever our battalion is located to be the eyes and ears of the battalion so that they can move the companies and other line infantry platoons around to most effectively control the battle space. My experience with Cav guys is that they are mounted reconnaissance. The cavalry has always been mounted, back on horseback and back in the day, and I believe that's how it's carried over. They are mounted reconnaissance, so they conduct reconnaissance in vehicles, and that allows them to do much longer ranged reconnaissance, and it allows them, because of that, they are typically, from what I've seen, I don't know how Cav works internally, but I've only ever seen them in the 82nd at a brigade level. Not that they didn't have their own company or battalion or whatever, but I only ever worked with them and saw them as a brigade level asset, as where your scout platoon is just a battalion level asset. And that's really all I can say about them, is that they conduct mounted recon at a brigade level. That's really all I've ever seen of them. However, they get ripped on in the combat arms world. They probably get ripped on more than anybody does. And being infantry, I think being infantry, and I'm going to be biased because I am an infantry guy, being infantry allows you more opportunities for schools than any other MOS that I've seen, besides the 18 series guys, obviously. But so if you're considering infantry or cav and you saw one of my videos about being a scout, that's what it is. Typically, to be a cav scout, that's just an MOS. So you're going to go through basic and you're going to go through OSIT or whatever for cav scout, which I think is like 19 weeks or something. To be an infantry scout, you're going to go through infantry one station unit training, and you're going to get to your unit and you're just going to be a line infantryman, and then you're going to have to try out for a scout platoon. And it's typically like 3 to 5 days long for your scout tryouts. But you actually have to get selected to get into a scout platoon. As we're being a cav scout, anybody can sign up to be a cav scout. So don't be a cav scout, go infantry. And I'm just kidding. Like, if you want to go cav scout, that's fine. But I do think there are benefits to being infantry over a lot of other MOSs. But you got to pay for it. It sucks more. You're more miserable being an infantry guy, but I think there's more pride that comes with that, and there's more school opportunities if that's what you're looking for. But that's just my biased opinion. So that's all I got for you today, guys. If you are a cav guy and you know more about it, obviously, than I do, please educate me. I would love to know more about what they do, because I'm fascinated by the entire reconnaissance world, not just the infantry side of the house, but the cav guys as well. You know, I've been in a battalion scout platoon, and I've been in a long-range surveillance unit. So I've been a scout for like the last 5 years in different levels. So I just enjoy learning about recon from any perspective. So if you have some info that you can educate me with, let me know down below. If you have any questions about specifically like infantry recon stuff, let me know. I can't really answer on the cav side of stuff. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything at all, let me know. And if you like the video, feel free to like, subscribe, whatever. And yeah, I'll see you guys around for the next one. Thanks for watching.